Welcome to the best anime, animation, and cartoon recommendations I have watched. Technically, some of these aren't actually anime, but please do allow it. They're still very good, they're still animated, and they are worth your time. I have about 10 different series here that are all my favorite of 2024 that I believe should at least be experienced once. So what you should expect is my thoughts, my opinion on them, as well as why you should check it out. Sound good? Let us begin. Dandadan easily my favorite anime of 2024. If you have seen it, it is self-explanatory. The amount of creativity going into this show, the animation, the color usage, the voice work, everything about this project, this anime screams passion. It is a love letter to the Dandadan story, to its manga, and being able to respect the source material is one thing, but elevating it within their own vision and providing so much beautiful contextualization is perfect. There is not a better thing that you would want than your manga getting this type of treatment, the pinnacle of an anime adaptation. When I knew that Science Saru was doing this, because I came off Scott Pilgrim and that was phenomenal, the best choice. I knew they would take everything that they had for Scott Pilgrim, convert so easily to the stylistic sense that is Dandadan. It's crazy, it's chaotic, it's all over the place, it's got a pinch of romance, a pinch of comedy, so many different elements to this story, to this world, to these characters, and how they're able to play upon that artistically, animation-wise perspective is so creative and enlightening. It's super refreshing to see something so beautifully handled and treated with such care and passion. For that reason alone, you should be watching this, and if you haven't, you have missed out on a weekly gem, but please do go and check it out. You will not regret it. Blue Box. This one is not really surprising, but I have been enjoying my time with it. The core 2 of this season has started this year. A very simple romance. They have taken the source material and again elevated it in a much prettier and digestible way. My biggest problem with Blue Box when I was reading it is that it is a huge slow burn, mostly because of the weekly manga experience, which at the end of the day is perfectly fine. It's what you sign up for when you read a weekly romance, but that conversion to anime is treated well. It suits it a lot better. You get a lot more information, you get a lot more time with the characters, a lot more room to breathe, a lot more ways to play on romantic feelings and interests, with the added benefit of music and animation and voice work and a color palette just screaming adolescence love. It's a really soft and sweet experience, and if you're looking for something that's still a slow burn but very romantically fused, Blue Box will be your cup of tea. It's just a fun time. Look back. I knew what I was getting into with this movie. The manga was superb. Tatsuki Fujimoto, one shot, short story, what could go wrong? Seeing this become a movie, passionate, love-inducing, a response, an answer to Tatsuki Fujimoto himself, they beyond cooked, smashed it out the park. It is difficult to put into words how perfect of a movie I find this to be, how important I think it is for the animation industry. But it's also important for the manga industry as well, with the story that it's telling. It really touches the heart of any and every creative person out there. It's like a universal movie. You might not understand the language, but you can understand the feeling. Even if you're not a creative person yourself, you'll still be able to understand it. Again, having this type of movie I think is important. A centerpiece for the industry to look at and observe and be like, this is what we should strive for, not only artistically, but passionately. And realistically, that's what every talented individual within this industry wants to do. They want to bring this animation to life. They want to bring these characters, this story, this world to life in a beautiful way. The business side just crunches all of that down. They're overworked, they're understaffed, they're underpaid, and it can be a horrible, horrible situation. But something that hopefully can never be defeated is that drive, that passion to keep working on something so special to someone. And this movie is the embodiment of that. They brought it to life in arguably the best way possible. And I hope for a very long time it is remembered to be such an important piece to anime and manga history. If you have not watched this, please do. You will not regret it. Flow. I recently watched this film. It has no dialogue. Its main character is a cat, and the cast of characters are all animals. Take that as you will. I heard a lot of praise for this movie, and I didn't really know what I was getting into, but when I watched it, beautiful. It's a really sensitive experience because it has no dialogue whatsoever, and you're just watching these animals trying to survive, really, and work together to survive. A really odd cast of animals coming together because of a specific specific tragic circumstance, and everything is communicated so tenderly. Like, you know how this cat is feeling, you know how this animal is feeling or that animal is feeling without even expressing anything. The way they use music, the way they use sound effects, the way they animate the expressions, everything just works collectively very beautifully, and the story, albeit simple, is to the point and reflective to this beautiful cast of characters and how they all come together. It's a really great time, and I think you should check it out. Jentry Chau. I've wanted an excuse to talk about this show because it genuinely came out of nowhere. Randomly a trailer popped up, I thought it looked cool, I checked it out. I did not expect what I was going to get from it. The first half of Jentry Chau is very fast, like it just speeds through a lot of narrative, a lot of dialogue, and it's kind of difficult to sit comfortably. However, it does start to smooth itself out, and by the end of the show you're kind of locked in and emotionally invested, and the payoff that you get towards the ending probably make you cry. It's built from the ground up with a lot of Korean influence, but the Chinese culture, being raised in a Chinese household with that culture, with those parents, with those grandparents, etc. And that influence that goes on to a teenager, you know, coming of age and understanding yourself and the world surrounding you and what you should and shouldn't do, yada yada. It's a very normal story, but it's told very earnestly. It would be no surprise to me if the people working on this show experienced basically everything that went in here emotionally. Obviously putting aside the mythical Chinese demon fighting that goes on within it, but still very much worth your time. It's super fun and I recommend it. Transformers 1. The marketing for this movie, dog water. Absolutely horrible. I honestly wasn't going to watch it. Nothing against Transformers, I just thought the marketing, I was like, it's not really my cup of tea. I checked it out anyway, because why not? Just not what I expected at all. And then I thought about the marketing, I'm like, okay, I'm actually grateful that they didn't show the movie of what it's actually about and what you actually get, because it's such a big surprise. But then I'm also upset that not enough people saw it because of the type of trailer and the original response that I had. This movie was great. I'm not a big Transformers fan or fanatic, but seeing the love and the work go in here, everything was gorgeous. The narrative, the character work, the animation, everything just came together really, really nicely. It was a big surprise. It's a hearty story and it has a lot going for it, and I really hope that they're able to continue whatever they want to do with this type of universe as their flagship. Like, if you haven't had the opportunity to watch Transformers 1, you're missing out on something special. Trust me, it will surprise you with what it can do, what it wants to tell, and how it showcases its characters. I think it's really well achieved. The Wild Robot. Similar to Transformers 1, I didn't really know what I was getting into, but pleasantly surprised with the outcome. Very simple story, but beautifully told. Beautiful animation, beautiful imagination, and just a really full-fledged package experience. Enjoyment-wise, I think it has a lot to offer, and I heard they wanted to do more with the Wild Robot franchise because there's more books that it's based on, so I'm excited to see how they continue it. I hope it manages to accomplish what the first film did artistically. If they can keep that same quality, that same level of creativity and passion with the visual identity that it's got, 100% they have a big franchise on their hands, and I wish them all the best. You should check it out. This brings us to the end. Last but not least, my favorite experience of last year, Arcane Season 2. I have already made a separate video on it if you want to check it out. I could sit here and ramble for hours upon hours, just like I do with my friends in Discord. We talk about it pretty much offhandly every other week at this point. Something comes up, or this or that, or we send each other artwork. There's just so much to love about the Arcane universe, about these characters, about Jinx and Vi and Caitlyn and Heimerdinger and Echo and Isha and Victor and Jace and Mel and Bessa, everyone. There's so much that you can love, that you can appreciate. The bigger narrative, the macro, the micro narratives, the character work, the characterization, the relationships, the identity building. There's just so much beautiful underwork that goes into this masterpiece in my experience. And it's not perfect, it is messy. Season 2 is a little bit rough in some situations. I think it didn't have enough time to accomplish or complete certain arcs or things that should have been completed. If you want more of my opinion on that, check out the video I done for it. But overall, I still think it's like a messy masterpiece. I think the art style, the animation, the techniques being used, the music, the sound design, how it all comes together is peak viewing experience. Nothing looks like this show, nothing feels like this show, and nothing gets that type of experience like this show. My viewing experience for season 2 was really fun. I watched it on my own, and then right after I watched it with my friends. So fun, so exciting. See how hyped everyone gets, how crazy this story is. Like, it's just a great time. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way, even with all of the baggage and wrong turns they may have taken. I'm excited to see where Arcane goes, the different spin-off stories that they want to do and the universes that they want to build. Even though they're all technically League adjacent, because that's what Arcane's based on, the show is influencing the game and the game is influencing the shows. So Mel Knox a spin-off in the coming years? Yes, please. Everything on this list is worth your time. Please do check them out. A lot of variety. And if you have the chance, let me know what some of your favorite stuff was from last year. I'd love to hear your thoughts.